Well, there's not a whole lot Trevor Relaford hasn't done, but he certainly has been perfect from beyond the arc.
Down to 5 for 5 from three-point land. But all Trevor Relaford here tonight in New York as Trevor Lacey goes to the free throw line. Saying Alabama played a championship game here a couple of years ago, lost to Wichita State in the NIT finals. Oftentimes a springboard to the NCAA tournament, which it was for Anthony Grant's team. Last year getting back to the tournament. 4 minutes away from a 4-0 start to the season. Pinkston inside.
From Hawaii, check out the webcast. Stanford knocking off Baylor 71-69 as Baylor's 42-game winning streak ends. The Lady Bears go down, and Stanford also ended UConn's 90-game win streak a few years ago. Chine Agumake, 18 points, 8 rebounds, as Griner finishes with 22 points and 6 boards in the loss. Mike Edwards and Hawaii. Could be a high-scoring game against Air Force. We'll see what happens about 15 minutes from now. The game will be starting on ESPN2. For now, back to Mark Kessinger.
All right, Adnan, yeah, tough day for Baylor. The top-ranked women losing, Baylor men losing. Baylor football team has a tough test against Kansas State coming up. Get a chance to see Brittany Griner play a lot, Glenn?
I have on, obviously, on our family networks. And
well, Madison Square Garden. We've had phase 2, Glenn. You can see this place come around. The lower bowl had already been completed. You see those seats covered. It was time for the second deck and the suites in between the first and second. There's time-lapse footage. Phase 2 of 3 next summer, the final phase complete. This place looks great.
Yeah, I mean, it's a total makeover. And I don't know if they won that off of television or not. But it's certainly different. I mean, I played here in high school and certainly in college on the professional ranks. And it was pretty much the same. Now they've gotten probably more contemporary.
There's the give underneath, and Alabama scores again with the big man Nick Jacobs. And, you know, universally, when these kids come in every year, they may not be from anywhere near New York City, but just a chance to play on this floor. And this may be a 20-point game, but Lacey's already helped them win a game. This was opening night in Tuscaloosa, tie game, pull-up, drains the triple. Great way to start your season against South Dakota State.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. You know, having been a part of those heroics and having a terrific night last night, he could have been one of those guys to come off the bench and say, hey, I got to launch some shots. But instead, he's played within the team framework.
Enjoying himself. Just a sophomore from Huntsville, Alabama. Twice Mr. Basketball in the state of Alabama. A little slow start to last year, his freshman year, but came on late in the season and has started off as well as anyone could have expected his sophomore year.
Despite their lead, Alabama continuing to pressure. This is more of a containment press right here. Again, trying not to let Villanova get started on any kind of streak.
Almost not a perfect second half, but a very complete effort by Alabama we've seen here.
Yeah, well, it's ropes before our eyes. And I think Anthony Grant would like to put that in the bottle and pour it out when SEC play starts in about a month.
White flag, Isaiah Wilson, Dakota Slaughter, Julian Good. These are guys that weren't even on the roster a couple of weeks ago. Alabama was so short-handed. Here's a steal and a basket and a chance at a three-point play. Isaiah Wilson.
Look at the bench. These guys that are on the floor now, they work so hard. You know, they've been part of the scout team and not on the roster. They, you know, given an opportunity to put the uniform on. So anything they do that's positive, their teammates are fully behind them.
Well, a great story about Isaiah Wilson. We talk about some of these Alabama players who weren't on the roster. He literally wasn't on the roster. Came into a game, nobody had any idea who he was.